trying to. It's all good. All right, now, so we're done with that. Let's get the big thing back in here, and I can share the screen and bring in our guests. First, I want to talk about. Should say I've got a video of his from his campaign, or to promote his campaign. I can dig that up real quick, and there's the link right there. And here is the video. All right, so let's we had him on here before, but he's back again, and then this time I'm gonna make the dream come true. Everybody, welcome Mr. Parker Newman.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Welcome back to the show, Parker. I'm so excited. You're so close to making this thing happen. I know we had a different path the last time you talked to us, but you found a new path, and we're oh so close to funding. And I'm excited, man. I really want to read this book, man. I'm definitely in on it. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling really good about it so far. I guess to update people. So last time I came on the show, the book was 2 months away. I remember this, like 2 months away from being published and released by Blood Moon Comics.
Yeah.
And right on cue, I remember because Diamond was having issues. And where both you guys said, hey, so is that still on track to be published by them? And I was like, I haven't heard anything, so I assume yes. Then I kid you not, 2 days later, I reached out to my publisher about pre-orders. And he told me, saying, hey, Diamond, just went bankrupt. And long story short, we're just having to, close down. And so I was like, oh, sick. And then I just, you pour so much time and effort into this, you feel just completely lost. And so I reached out to Sam, actually, said, hey, do you know any possible way to maneuver through this? And then he recommended K-pop. And so he said, hey, she knows a ton of independent publishers who, but still, hey, maybe they've been hit by Diamond. That the dust at that point had yet to settle, still really hasn't fully settled. And so I reached out to her, and she gave me like a laundry list, to be honest, of all these great independent publishers. And at the top was Wiseacre Comics, headed by Frederick Littles, who a lot of people may know him from his days with Godhood. And he also released Magnus, which was a very successful independent comic. And so reached out to him and immediately connected with what his vision was for Wiseacre as a whole. So that he was very much just driven with comics. He wasn't looking to, really license anything. Like a lot of these people typically want, like their focus is, part of their focus is comics, but their main focus is like getting a license to be a TV show or a movie. Mm-hmm. And I ideally want someone who was just, kind of like me, just in love with the art form of comics. Because I'm not looking, like my interest with City Demons, I'm not looking to make this a TV show or anything. I want to make it a comic book like series and just produce it, have people read it, and have people just really fall in love with it. And so I connected a lot with him on that level. And I mean, he's a great artist, a great storyteller. And so because when I turned it into him, I was nervous because it's nothing like Magnus or any of the superhero type work he's done before. I was like, I don't know if a detective noir story would be something he would really be into. And luckily it clicked, and it's still clicking from all the new pages and new issues we're turning in. So yeah, everything so far has gone super well. Thank you both you guys. Thank you, Sam, for that connection to K-pop. So yeah, it's been cool because this is
who is Sam? Who's Sam?
Oh, sorry,
was that me? Sorry. Marcus.
Yeah, sorry, Marcus. Sorry, yeah, sorry. I was going.
It's your Uncle Arthur.
No, K-pop is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that worked out for you. I know you talked to Justin Gray as well. Did he give you any good advice on?
So he gave me
that?
good advice. Yes. So he gave me great advice in terms of just like, really, it was a lot of great stuff in terms of how to maneuver something like this, like a situation where you're constantly having to just put your name out there, constantly having to almost like, and this is like, I mean, this is the nicest way possible, almost like just kind of force it down people's throat and like keep reminding them that you even like exist or the project still exists.
That's how you got to be, for real. You got to be your
Yeah.
best promoter. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yes,
it's not
it is.
part of our as our creators. Some of us don't have that in us, so we have to like reach back. You don't have someone like who does the promotion for you. You got like, okay, I got my promotion hat on now, and just bug people.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So I was curious, Kickstarter, difference between Zoop and Kickstarter is someone told me that Zoop actually prints for you. Is that right? Or what is the difference?
So the deal with Zoop is that they handle a lot more upfront marketing in terms of like newsletters on their end, all that kind of stuff. So they do have a printing feature. As far as I know, our publisher Wiseacre is utilizing a third-party printer, so I don't think he's using Zoop for that.
Okay.
Combo exclusive. Percentage-wise, they take out a smaller cut than Kickstarter. Now, I'm the first one from Wiseacre to use Zoop, and again, this was a situation that my publisher chose, so I'm essentially the guinea pig for in this circumstance because.
President.
Yeah. So the risk we're taking is that, Wiseacre built such a strong community online for Kickstarter, and to where they could release, almost any project, and that would get funded. I think he only had one project that just did not get funded or did not meet its goal. So they were super strong on Kickstarter, and for this. Frederick would be the one to tell you, but he's had his own little frustrations with Kickstarter. And so just took a chance at Zoop and talked to some of the guys who run Zoop. And we were able to really get a feel for it and a feel for, because we don't have an audience really on there, like a established how we go maneuvering through that. So it's been a learning process. 110% been a humongous learning process. Yeah, I see people in the comments that say, I am so sorry.
No, it's all good, bro. I know you're.
Yeah.
No worries, brother.
Chaos is going to run with it, though. He's going to run with it.
Yeah, my friend, I will tell you that my friends are going to be calling me Sam for the next month. So thanks for that.
Oh, my
God. No, all good. I'm already locked in on this one. Obviously, you sold me the last time you came through. I think the artist that you have on this is really, as we said before, I'm not really a black and white book kind of guy, but the way he does his grayscale stuff makes it look so readable, so legible.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, that I'm really excited. Plus the whole setup, which let's get into. You haven't done your pitch, so what is the city?
Those that don't know.
Yeah. So again, the pitch for City of Demons is that it takes place in 1924 LA, right during the whole process, silent movie era of Hollywood, where Hollywood is becoming Hollywood, like the epicenter of pop culture in America. And so with that as the background, a serial killer is targeting one of LA's top 2 crime families, the crime family that has a bigger stake in the Hollywood studio system. And so the newly appointed leader of this family hires 2 private detectives to track down this killer. Before a potential gang war escalates. And so that's the short of it before I give too much away, but it really dives into a lot of the dark side of Hollywood. And, in the news and whatnot, we've heard about, a lot of the stuff concerning the casting couch, a lot of the sort of just really just evil culture that Hollywood has been a part of. Obviously now, like we know the P. Diddy situation, the court case that's going on. A little bit before that, obviously Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, all these stories. And what I really want to dive into is that culture has really been a part of Hollywood for as long as Hollywood's been around. So that culture has been there even in the 1920s, where Hollywood was getting a little bit more mainstream relevancy. We're really just movies as an art form we're gaining more mainstream relevancy. So that was an era and a piece of history I just really want to dive into. I really want to use and the series features really four main characters, four characters that are very distinct, psychologically complex, and that really, keeps you guessing on who is the murderer and why is the murderer doing what they're doing. And something I think I've really am proud of is that the question initially is like, who did this? Who's targeting this family? And what that turns into is a question of motive. And so you really start asking yourself, why are these murders occurring? For what reason is this happening? And so that is then the door that allows us to dive into a lot more of the really sort of hard themes, a lot of the history of, again, the underside of Hollywood that I don't think enough stories show. And so that was something I was just really passionate about, and it's been a blast to write. I mean, I'm really confident in saying I think anyone who reads this first issue will hopefully be sold. The first issue features really the central, I know I said four main, but the really central, the heart of the whole story, Lucas Short. And I think once you read it, everyone I've talked to said that they're just right there with him. They're on his side. And again, to experience the artwork that goes along with that, like, there's not a doubt in my mind that people just really, really dig this and will want to read the next one and read the next one. It's a mystery that, again, I'll be proud of to say that I think I've shown the preview of the first 6 issues to 30 or so people. Only one person has been able to guess the killer, and they almost got the motive right, but then they sort of took a left turn in their reasoning and barely missed it. But yeah, so it's a series that's going to keep you guessing. It's going to throw little clues at you along the way on what, who's doing it, why they're doing it, and you'll be really surprised about where those clues will lead. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
My favorite stuff, and it sounds like that's what we have here, but like my favorite writing is where you can see the begin or you can see the end in the beginning. And it sounds like that's what you're doing here. And that's part of the reason why I'm really pumped about this one, why I'm definitely pushing it and backing it. But I was curious, how far along are you on, you were what, to 3 or something issues in before?
Yeah. So the 3 years was essentially, that was the whole process of structuring it out, writing it out. Now it's been heavily revised in those 3 years. So we have finally completed from production side. We are just finished this week. We will finish 10. So so we're very close to ending it out at 12.
It's 12. Okay.
Yeah. So we're 12 issues. And again, I was actually on another podcast and with a comic book writer, he said, yeah, as a new guy, I was told by these veterans at DC that, if you're new, only make it like 3 or 5 issues. And I was like, yeah, I missed the message on that completely. Because another podcast, a guy asked me about that. He said, so why, 12, that's very ambitious. I'm like, I didn't know that it was ambitious. Like I was just, ignorant and naive. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, 12, that's short, Bendis and Bagley did like 100 so issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. So the 100, versus 12. And that's the way I was like, this is super short. So yeah, ignorance and naivety will get you a long way in some sort of
it's a superpower sometimes, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the publishers, the indie publishers, are like kind of gun shy about making a series go longer than 3 to 5 issues because they're worried about the sales and all that. But it doesn't mean you can make a longer series,
especially if it's good.
Yeah, and we were confident, and I talked to Frederick Wiseacre. We were very confident that this series will do really good with word of mouth, because again, the characters are. I mean, obviously, I wrote it. I'm biased, but like the characters from people I hear,
this is the best thing that's ever been written. No.
You're never going to read a better comic in your life. Yeah, but it's going to be. We're very confident the characters are very strong. They're very characters that will be. Like when I approach every story characters over everything, and I care more about characters being interesting than likable. Like, and you can play with like relatability in that, but We have 4 very interesting characters that I think the audience will want to see how they react to certain scenarios, how they progress through the story, how they react to different power moves each character does to another. So there's all this whole dynamic, all these layers going on. The subplot between the 2 warring crime families is like essentially story B is the B story, and the story A is the 2 PIs solving it. But even their story, ties in and out throughout. So I think the audience will really, really love it. I, love writing it, and you're too close to it to where you feel like you have to constantly show it to someone. Like, is this good, or is this like? My first question is, do you even understand what I'm writing? So I just show it to them, like, do you even understand what's going on? And people are like, yes. And I'm like, okay, do you like it? And they'll say, well, if it's a first draft, they'll probably say no, but in the final draft, they'll say yes. And so they're like, yeah, it's good. And I'm like, okay, good. So we can move on. And yeah, but I'm super psyched for people to experience this.
Yeah, I love the backdrop of old Hollywood, because people don't understand how scandalous old Hollywood was and powerful. I mean, way more powerful than they are even now. I mean, back then they were scandalous, but they could cover it up with the police and everybody. Like, everybody just kept their mouths shut because the studios had control over everything.
Yeah. So again, the influence that underground crime and the mob or mafia had on old Hollywood, even up to the 60s, really, it was there and very, to be honest, not particularly well hidden. Mm-hmm. And so that was a side. And so you had a lot of, I mean, this is going on YouTube, so I don't know what words I can say, but there was just a lot of really just.
Yeah, we fucking
don't hold back.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah.
Okay, we awesome. Fucking cuss here, bro.
Yeah, cool. But I was going to, they had like some words, so like a lot of, like, for instance, human trafficking went on.
Oh, okay, yeah, we got to stay away from those words. Yeah. Yeah, I think you say grape instead of the other word.
Our advertisers might stay away from this video. Oh, what happens to Betsy?
The algorithm could get you though, but yeah.
The algorithm. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, okay.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You had mentioned the main character, and I'm assuming that you are talking about the war veteran, right? The
war veteran, right?
Veteran. Kind of talk about him and what draws people to him and why he's so interesting, because he is really interesting.
Yeah. So the central character, Marcus, not Sam, is talking about is a Lucas Short, who is a World War I veteran, scarred by that experience. You find out a little bit more about that experience later on, but there's a hint of that in the first few pages. But he later becomes an LAPD detective, which, again, for anyone that wants to know, that is actually inspired by real life Black officers of the LAPD. A really interesting part of LAPD history is that they had their first Black officer, I believe it was 1918, and by 1924 they had 4. So it is, drawn.
So it's not. Life. It's historical, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, before anyone wants to be a keyboard warrior or something. So yeah. So and so for him, he's a guy that, similar to the other detective he later teams up with, Lawrence K. He's a man that I psychologically describe as he's in a spiritual warfare. He's seemingly in a world that does not want him. He's in a world that he feels completely lost in. And so through that, he works through this case to sort of regain his humanity, regain a sense of self. And so, because he's a guy that, has been beaten down by war, has been beaten down by, really, as a Black man in 1924, a society that really wants nothing to do with him, by a guy that, really struggles to connect with people, and that's just torn with grief and guilt. And that really, through the story, he really has a fighter's mentality, is the way I would kind of write him, is that he still fights, still moves on, still keeps working, going forward. And that's a character that in any story I feel like I really get behind, because life's really rough, stuff's not going to go your way, and you have to keep fighting on, keep moving on, keep working, trying to work it out. And he's a guy that, again, everything is going against him, and he just keeps pushing against it. And so that was a character that I constantly found fun to write, a guy that builds himself up as the story progresses. So it's really, really cool to write him. Again, I think he's a character that people will relate to the most of the 4 main characters. And yeah, I think, I'm really proud of the character work on him.
Yeah, I'm excited to read it. I really am. So there's 3 covers for this one, right? An A, B, and a C.
Right.
And they're all the story artists, right? Is that right?
No, so so one of the variant covers was actually featured at the end of that short video you showed, the trailer. That was showed like the 4 main characters. That was done by Kingsley. The other covers were actually, to be honest, were actually done by myself.
Oh, really?
So I do portraiture. I do I can draw. I can do paint. I can paint and all this stuff. I'm not like a comic book artist. Like Kingsley's, the way he's able to lay it out. Like I'll direct him how to lay out a page. But he adds like a whole new level of personality to it. But so I'm not fast enough, and honestly, a lot of Kingsley artwork is just much more dynamic than I can make mine. So I'm not a comic book artist, but I can paint, and I do sell paintings and do portrait work. And so I use that as the variant covers.
And so there's 4 covers.
Yeah, sorry, 4. Yeah.
And how many are you doing?
So I did, trying to think. I did 2. No, sorry, 3. I did 3. So there's one that's like a sort of a face with a bandage on it, and on its nose and on side. That's another one that's So there's one right there, and you scroll up right at 175. You should be able to see.
Okay. Click on it. Bigger.
Yeah, click on it. I think you can.
Hey,
there you go. Sweet. Yeah. So the first one in that lineup is done by me.
Okay.
And it's kind of this sort of white paint slashed across the canvas, and you see a face hidden behind all of it, right, with the eye. The second one is the first just official cover done by Kingsley. Second one with the bandages is done by me. Second one is sort of a take on. This was actually the first ever drawing I had of Lucas. And so it was sort of an expressionistic sort of look at him. And again, which I think shows a lot of the psychological sort of weight I was trying to put on that character. And then the next one over is, again, the one that was shown in the trailer that Kingsley also did.
Nice.
The metal poster, I pledged, I didn't do the metal poster level, but I kind of want to. I might have to change it.
You know what? You should. You should do it.
The metal poster looks pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
It does. Got the Hollywood.
It was funny. One of my friends who I shared the campaign with, they mentioned that, and they were just like, oh, Mill, this is cool. Maybe I want this. I'm like, you could always upgrade.
Go ahead. And guys, whatever level you pledge at, and everything is helpful. He's so very close to getting funded here. So any little bit that you guys can pitch in, even just the digital level, guys, is going to push it closer to that mark. So click that link and get in. Don't miss out on this. I think this one could be pretty good, man. I'm excited for it. Yeah,
again, I think I know, Lorenzo, I think you read at least the first 2 issues, if I remember correctly, from way back. Yeah, so again,
is it the same, or have you changed it?
So it's the same. The only difference, well, I can't give that away.
Yeah.
But so people,
give you a spoiler.
Yeah, so Lorenzo will probably be the only one who knows there's a difference, but
keep it quiet.
Yeah, so again, this is a story that I think will be really, really special for people to read it. It's a story that is not going to be like anything else you see in a comic book store. I think it really stands out, both narratively, artistically, and again, it's something that I cannot wait for people to get their hands on, because I guarantee you're going to want to read the next issue after. And
I already want to read it.
There's going to be these little tidbits that are going to give you a greater insight on who's doing what, who's pulling the strings, all this kind of stuff. And again, not one little part. And so maybe Marcus, you'll be the second person, but only one person so far out of 30 or so have correctly guessed the killer.
Well, that sounds fun to me, because that's me. I think that's a function of my ADD, is anytime I watch something, I'm trying to predict immediately where it's going. So that'll be part of the fun for me for sure.
Yeah, and this is a series that again, and I really like as cool as the mystery is. I want people to know it really focuses on story. It takes time with the characters. The first issue, I mean, I don't think this is much of a spoiler, but is really a piece about Lucas. You understanding him, his like psychology, understanding why he is the way he is at the start of the story. So it creates a base for you to grab onto, and I think it's a really strong piece, and I think people will really love it. It takes its characters very seriously. It takes time to build them, because I've said to people before, like, yeah, the mystery's fun, but the characters are the heart and soul of it. And for me, whenever I watch, a great mystery or just any great story, the setup, the concept could be really cool, but if I'm not connected to the characters, am that interested to see what happens next. Like, there's a lot of comics that have great art, actually some pretty cool concepts, but the character work is not particularly great.
You got to make me care, right? You got to.
Right.
This is my problem with Captain America 4 at the end of the movie. There's a character.
Captain America 4. Yeah, at
the end of the movie, there's a character on a hospital bed crying, and I felt absolutely nothing watching it. And like you got to make me care, and so I'm loving that.
Yeah, because that movie. Don't even get me started. I saw that. That was a movie where I saw it with a friend, and I was like, maybe I was in denial, but I was like, I had fun. I think like it was fine. And then you think about it more on the car ride back home. I'm like, oh my gosh.
They clearly had like 5 rewrites, and they just jammed.
And it was crazy. It's one of the most expensive movies ever made, apparently, because of all the reshoots. Yeah, it's like one of the most. It does not like. I mean, it looks like a big budget Marvel movie, but it does not look like it's one of the most expensive movies ever made.
Oh.
And the Red Hulk scene at the end was interesting.
I gotta watch it. The only person who hasn't seen that. I'm having trouble with my Disney Plus, and I didn't see it in the theater.
So you haven't seen it? No, it's
I can't wait to see it. See what you guys are talking about.
It's not horrible. It's just
it is horrible.
Okay, maybe it is horrible. I'm not gonna
like everybody has their own, because I talked to many people who said they liked it, but for me, I gave it a 2.5, and I'm an MCU apologist. Like, I went into that movie wanting to like it, wanting to cheer for Black Captain America. I was 100% on the side of pushing this, but I just couldn't, dude. I couldn't do it.
And to be honest, for me, and I may get a lot of hate for this, but for me, the biggest issue with it is, like, Sam Wilson is a very likable character, and Anthony Mackie is a very charismatic, likable actor. That movie's biggest job to me had to sell me that, hey, Sam Wilson is more interesting than just a cool side character. And to be honest, I don't think it succeeded. Sam Wilson, it has nothing to do with Anthony Mackie. It has everything to do. I don't think Sam Wilson as a character is that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, Captain America, you can easily define who he is quickly. Like, he's a skinny guy, beyond the superpowers, who would jump on a grenade and save everyone. Without a second thought. Sam Wilson, so far as Marvel has defined him, is just a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Wilson as he's written in the MCU, not Sam Wilson from
in the MCU, right? And yeah. In the comics, I think he's a cool character. They've added a lot of depth to him over the years, and so there's you can dive into a lot with him. But in the MCU, I don't think they succeeded yet. I'll hold out hope, but I don't think they've succeeded yet in making him horribly interesting. I think that's been the biggest issue with the MCU for a lot of their newer characters. But I mean, we'll see how it goes.
And that speech at the end of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the series didn't help any either. Remember that speech?
Oh gosh, that's true.
I just always talk about this.
It was so corny, dude. It was painfully corny.
The last speech when he's like, "Don't call them." Don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, but don't call them, bad people. And it's like, dude, they blew up a hospital. These are horrible people. Like they've killed innocents the entire show. These are horrible, horrible people.
Yes.
It was a bad speech.
Oh my gosh. And I will say Thunderbolts. I really like Thunderbolts.
Me too. I saw that. Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting anything from it. I was like, I don't really care about any of these characters. That made me care. I actually thought it was really cool.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not perfect. Like I think MCU fans, we kind of freak out sometimes when we just see something good. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Not amazing, but it was good. I enjoyed it a lot in theater.
Did you stick around for the last end credit scene?
Yes, really thought. Okay, I thought that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I've got to watch it, guys.
You gotta
it.
watch that one. I gotta watch
It's really good. You would like it a lot.
Yeah.
I gotta endure the Cap movie from what you guys are saying now. It's not gonna be that good.
Oh gosh.
You might like it. Some people
have.
I've talked to people who liked it, but everybody I went to the movie with hated it. And we did a video. We did a review of the movie coming out of the theater, and it kind of went viral on it.
I saw it. Yeah.
I still say the worst theater experience I had for Marvel was Quantumania, Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh,
Because
really?
I remember watching it, and I felt this in the theater. Everyone is almost like in disbelief by how bad this thing is. Like we're all sitting there like in shock.
What am I doing here?
And when it finally ends, all my friends and I were looking around at each other, and it's like 5 of us. We're going, "Oh no, this was really, really darn bad."
That's $20 and 2 hours of my time I'll never get back in my life.
Yeah, and we both were like, and we were thinking about Kang, and I know Marvel scrapped that for a bunch of reasons, but we're like, so the big baddie was just being by Ant-Man.
Yeah, dude, they completely weakened him for sure.
And they're like, oh, but maybe there's a stronger Kang. And then one of us like, but who would be the stronger one? This Kang was so bad that all the other Kangs had to throw him away. So you think he would be the worst. Nothing about that movie made any sense. It just
it sucked for me because for me, Ant-Man and Thor were my favorite franchises because they were funny and I just like funny.
Yeah, the first 2 Ant-Man movies are just fun. The first one's real, there's just fun movies.
Mm-hmm.
They both
Love and Thunder for Thor. Oh god.
Yeah, they both jumped the shark on their last ones for sure.
Yeah. I don't think Ant-Man's strong enough to carry a whole movie though. I mean, he's a complimentary character. If am I wrong on that?
I mean, the first two, I thought
I think he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But make it into a franchise. I don't know about that.
I still say that I would love like Thor: Love and Thunder. It gets so much hate, and I think the one thing everyone agrees on that's positive is Christian Bale is so darn good in that role as Gore that he stands out like a sore thumb. Like his quality is like here, and then the rest of the movie is like here that he actually it almost works against it. It's so good it works almost against it because he stands out like a sore thumb.
It's a travesty because you have you go to bed and he's acting his ass off.
Oh, he's amazing in the movie. He's incredible.
Then we switched to Thor and we got these screaming goats and this is like just a weird juxtaposition between the two.
And the god, and so the whole scene, I saw someone on YouTube and I did not even catch this, or I did catch this in the movie theater. What my friends pointed out was when Thor goes to meet all the pantheon of gods. You're like, oh, this is the perfect setup. They're all in one place. Gore's going to come crashing through and just destroy everything. No.
The thing I hated the most about that scene is that Thor is acting like a complete idiot while there's kids that are in danger. Are we forgetting that there's kids that we're trying to save? Why are you acting like an idiot? Yeah.
He's just taking all the time in the world to goof off.
It just didn't make any sense.
And I love Ragnarok.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
a lot of people hated it.
Ragnarok.
I loved it. Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite solo MCU films.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic. And then Love and Thunder was, oh my gosh, it was.
They've kind of relied on making Thor an idiot for the comedy, but it's worked, but they just went too far in Love and Thunder.
They found out Chris Hemsworth is funny. Like he can do a lot of physical comedy well. He's a really funny guy. But you're right. They relied on it way too heavily to where he just became a bozo, and you're just.
And the writers are just phoning it in rather than developing the character and making him funny, but not like goofy.
But it was weird because you have that. The movie was tonally all over the place. You have that, and you have Gore, and Gore's amazing. Actually, like I know he looks nothing like the comics, but Christian Bale's amazing in it. and then you put that together, and it does not compute at all. And oh yeah, then Chris, I know it's his daughter, but then Thor raises Gorge's daughter. And it's like, okay,
No.
I guess we're doing that. It's like cool.
Yeah.
But unlike those movies, you're building characters that we can care about.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, for bringing it back.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, if people are worried about characters, not being put in really dramatic scenarios to where you really see their true character shine forth, this is not that story. This story is going to be true to that. We're going to have put our characters constantly in conflict with each other and themselves. So you're going to see a lot of really great drama from this. And I've said this before, like a million times already, but I really cannot wait for people to read this. I think they're really, really, really going to enjoy it. And yeah, so hopefully my goal is by end of next week, we get to 2,000 so that people can probably enjoy some of the stretch goal bonuses, like everyone getting, all the physical backers getting a metal poster. So fingers crossed, but
let's go, guys. Click that link.
Right.
Let's get it.
Is this your first crowdfunding effort ever?
Oh, yeah, ever. Yeah, so this is, humongous learning curve.
Nice.
So again, but Frederick, and because I was assuming it would just be a Kickstarter where Wiseacre has a great community, and I was like, oh, we'll be fine. And then going on Zoop, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to worry about, making sure people know, to be honest, what Zoop is. And so, but yeah, so you guys, please check it out. Zoop's a great site to find more independent comics. It has a great catalog of other comics that need funding. And I think you guys would probably agree that the independent space, especially right now, has a lot of the more interesting sort of forward-thinking comic book stories. Because in the independent space, that's really what I see is like, these are the stories that are really embracing what comic books could be, the storytelling that only comic books can do.
100%.
And so like City of Demons, again, it's a story that the way it's told can only be done in comic books.
Yes.
My goal is for this to be a successful comic book series. I'm not looking at licensing it for a TV show or anything.
Yes.
I just want it to be a great comic book. And, Frederick from Wiseacre is the exact same way. So feel free to look at Wiseacre more. It's a great publishing house. So thank you guys for giving me just a platform to talk about it.
Thank you for coming, dude. Like I said, this has been exciting for me, and you got to feel good about the start here with 15 days left, being so close to funded. We're off to a great start, but we don't want just $2,000, guys. We want 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. So don't let that number stop you from throwing your money down if you're interested in this one. Get in where you fit in, because you're in the ground level on this thing, and you never know, man. You never know.
Yes.
That's what I love about, like, some people love speculation. They love like all kinds of things. And I like those things. But the number one thing that drives me in this comic book space is I want to be on the ground level of a phenomenon. I want to be pulling Walking Dead #1 off the shelf and be there from day one. And that's what this is an opportunity to do for City of Demons. I'm excited for it, and I'm ready to be there at the ground level. So let's go.
There it is. There it is. Well, hey, good luck to you, Parker. You're almost there, man. You're almost there. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I can see it happening.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for stopping by. And man, keep us posted as to what happens. We'll keep an eye on the campaign.
If there's anything I can ever do, Sam is here for you. So let me know.
Don't worry. I will never. Don't worry. I'll live in shame for the rest of my days. It's fine.
Oh, we love it. I mean, chaos and comedy has got like mature.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we spend a lot of time in Discord, and I'm about to hear that name. It's gonna be fun. It'll be funny though. So good stuff, man. I'm really excited for it. And if I win some bets this weekend, I'll be getting that metal poster. Don't you worry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Awesome. All right, Parker. Take care, man. There's a link, folks, in the chat, and there it is on the screen. So back this project. You heard how good it is, and man, we can attest to that being the real deal. So good luck to you, Parker, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you both of you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Later, Parker. Always good
Yes,
to
sir.
talk to you, homie.
Take care, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.